Bob Halpin is the town manager for Framingham, and as we all know, Framingham soon becomes a city and will no longer have a town manager, but he's still under contract based on an agreement that was arrived at with the Board of Selectmen. So he'll be serving in an advisory capacity to the new mayor through June 3rd of 2018. Bob's here today to talk about this transition period. Welcome, Bob.
Well, thank you for having me, Audrey. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. You've been town manager now since June of 2012, 5.5 years. And that's kind of starting to wind down, and you can see the end in sight of that position. How does that feel for you?
Well, let me start by saying I have to tell you that this is not an easy job.
Of course not.
It's a large, complicated community, but being able to serve the people of Framingham for 5.5 years has really been the honor of a lifetime. It's been challenging and rewarding, and I feel that I've poured myself into it. And it's been some of the most rewarding career experience I've had in the 39 years that I've been doing this.
Because of accomplishments or?
I like to think accomplishments. I think a lot of challenges that I wish I had pushed a little farther to get done and so forth. But yeah, I feel that in terms of my own sense of what I wanted to accomplish in Framingham, I'm very satisfied with what I think I've done. And we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Sure, let's talk about what you're happy that you've accomplished, and then let's talk a little bit about the ones you think you wish you had pushed a little further.
Okay, fine. Well, when I came here in 2012, I came with an awareness that sometimes the perception of Framingham outside of Framingham was not always kind of a positive.
It is a challenge.
And that it had a reputation of being a little unruly and a little undisciplined and a little business unfriendly in particular. So it was pretty clear to me when I was going through the interview process that clearly the selectmen and many people in town were aware of that and wanted to change it. So I think that with just the implementation of a few clear rules about what the expectation is about handling business and in providing services to people, we've gone from one perception to an entirely different perception about Framingham as a place to do business.
Now, do you think that perception has changed internally within the town, or mostly externally, or both?
I think internally that sometimes we're our harshest critics and that we don't see everything everyone else sees. But I think internally as well. I mean, I've talked to businesses that, and let's face it, we can always do better.
Right.
Always do better. But I feel that by implementing a few simple rules like, look, I am never going to tell you what the spec is or what the permit requirement is or what the code says. I may ask some questions like, this doesn't make sense, but I'm not going to tell you. What I am going to say is get it right up front, and if we make a mistake, it's on us. We're not going to have some poor builder or some poor company rip it out and do it all over again because we changed our mind later in the process. And that's a pretty simple expectation. And I think it really was, the staff really responded to those kind of clear guidelines. And as a result, I think people who come to apply for a permit today see that permit happen a lot faster than it used to happen. We do largely get it right, and that there are no surprises at the end. And I think those are things that really matter to business. And I think it's been gratifying to watch as that attitude about us changed, and people who were making those decisions began to get the positive kind of comments about how that experience went. That it just became a little bit of a reinforcing loop, and people actually feel pretty good.
One
about
experience
the fact that
at a time, right?
Yeah, one experience
it's
at a time.
Cumulative, and it happens one experience at a time.
So I think, secondly, when I came, people said that Framingham is a place with amazing assets. All the pieces are here, but we never seem quite to put them all together. And I think a lot of that had to do with departments operating in silos and decision makers not working as a team and not collaborating sufficiently. And I think that we've gone a long way towards putting at least those pieces together where people are working together a little more effectively and getting things done for the Framingham resident that maybe we weren't doing as well. And that one of the more gratifying pieces of feedback that I'm getting at the end of this is that people do feel like the pieces are coming together. And they should for a community of this stature and this.
So people are coming forth now with more feedback because they know that, things are winding down for you. And what
Yeah.
other things are you hearing as well?
Well, just, I don't think of myself as a high energy person, but people have just commented that they like the energy, they like the enthusiasm, and they liked the spirit of kind of moving forward in confronting problems and trying to get them resolved in a way that allowed the town to move forward.
Now, you'll be here for another 6 months in an advisory capacity, and you said there were some things that you wish you had pushed a little further. Can you push them now as an advisor?
Well, I would hope so. I mean, and I just want to clarify. So I have a contract through June of 2018. With the implementation of the charter, that would have been terminated, and I would have earned severance under that contract. And the selectmen were very interested in putting this agreement in place, where we transform that into my being available to the mayor when elected. So my role will be to be available whenever I can be helpful in offering advice and background on projects that are in initiatives that are still in the pipeline. So I work very, very hard on municipal buildings to try to make better decisions and make some much needed improvements. I still think that's a strategic financial challenge for the town. We have the legacy of these shopping centers that are very demoralizing for Framingham residents. Wish I'd made more progress on those, but they're still there, and we need to keep pushing that agenda. Some exciting things are happening downtown that came about as a result of some zoning that I feel I led and contributed to. So I'd like to see some of those things get across the finish line. So it's all good. It's just you hate leaving unfinished business after a period of time.
And what words of wisdom would you like to provide to the new administration, the mayor, and the new team coming in to take over?
Well, I think it's always going to be about people. I commented to our employees at the Christmas party that this is a group of people that comes to work every day trying to serve the town of Framingham, and I've always thought of my key role is to build an organization that supports them in doing that, but more importantly, lets them do it better with each passing day. And I've been gratified by how that attitude of supporting well-intentioned employees so that they can do a better job tomorrow than they did today is really what. So I do think it comes down to people. I think it is essential to be collaborative and not kind of retreat to the silos, and that it's about aligning people and ideas and resources to get things done, and that. That's my word of wisdom.
That's great. Well, I have no doubt that you'll be a big help in advisory capacity, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who are very grateful that you're staying on to advise through June. So thank you so much for your service and for being here today and to share some of your words of wisdom.
Great.
And we greatly, greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's Bob Halpin, Town Manager of Framingham, 5.5 years at the helm since 2012. He'll be with us in an advisory role through June of 2018. We'll be right back.